I'm what you call a globe denier. It appears to me to be a stationary plane. I would find it to be an ice plane where we have a localized sun and our environment thrives there.
Conspiracy.
We're looking at Katy Perry, reptilian shapeshifter, clear as day. Those of you know. Now make no mistake about it, you will be the slave class, the food class. These guys will eat you, they will rape you, they will drink the blood of your children.
Conspiracy. KFC makes black males infertile.
It smells a little like conspiracy.
And I'm not saying people didn't naturally have homosexual feelings. I'm not even getting into it, quite frankly. I mean, give me a break. You think I am like, shocked by it, so I'm up here bashing it because I don't like gay people? I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
True? Now before I go any further, let's get something straight.
Haha, I get it, cause he talking about gay hate.
No, this has nothing to do with the conscious human being's sexuality. We are talking about frogs affected by atrazine. Also, I don't follow InfoWars or Alex Jones. His passionate rants and ideas gave light to many controversial communities. Like when he made a couple thousand people believe that Sandy Hook never really happened. The man is so crazy it's entertaining to watch, ironically. But like all conspiracy theorists, he takes surface level research and calls it a day. But sometimes those theorists uncover a rabbit hole that really did have secrets and lost sins. Which brings me to today's topic in question. Is atrazine making the frogs fuck gay? Oh, I think I read that wrong, but it still kind of works. Now, this story began way before it ended up on InfoWars. He clarifies this on a different show directed by Logan Paul. Here, he says he was looking at a Berkeley study where the crop pesticide atrazine had hormonal effects on frogs. The study in question actually exists, led by Tyrone Hayes, a big name in this discussion. Better learn the name Tyrone Hayes. In 2001, his first initial study had a simple question. Would ecologically relevant doses of atrazine actually do anything? After running some tests, Hayes was surprised to find out that frogs were developing with testes and ovaries. Their testosterone levels decreased and their estrogen levels increased. The males no longer wanted to mate with the females. This research caught the eye of Syngenta Crop Protection. Syngenta is a company responsible for distributing atrazine across America. They offered Dr. Hayes a contract to fund his research. During the time with Syngenta, he found out that atrazine in doses as small as 1 part per billion resulted in, quote, retarded gonadal development. To put it in simple terms, my PP look weird. Likely frightened by the research, they cut his funding and asked him to continue his research in private. He refused and left the contract. Undeterred, Hayes conducted his own research. Thanks to crowdfunding, he later published his results in 2 prestigious journals. This caused Syngenta to shit themselves and start plotting to break down Tyrone Hayes' credibility. Meanwhile, the Natural Resources Defense Council issued a consent decree to dig deeper into the question. What this means is the right people were becoming aware of these concerning results, and they wanted to gather a panel and new reliable results to debate whether atrazine should be allowed in the produce industry. As a result, 16 independent studies were conducted, 12 of which were funded by Syngenta. But these results weren't enough to confirm nor deny the hypothesis. Additional studies were called for, and these studies were all conducted by Syngenta, meaning that they were responsible for testing their own product. They also created a list of good lab practices that are required to be followed in order for the EPA to consider research on this topic valid. Now, all of this may be a little confusing, so consider the following analogy. It's the 1950s, and the hottest new toy, jarts, is taking over the nation. Jarts are large, pointy needles with wings, intended to be thrown and stuck to the ground. The product is very good at providing fun gameplay, and kids at the time loved playing with their throwing knives. Logically, the number of injuries began to rise, and so you ask the question, is jarts too dangerous to be marketed towards kids? You compile case after case of injuries until the CPSC notices a problem. They wonder if these sketchy war machines could really be capable of puncturing an innocent child's brain. So, they contract none other than Lawrence Barnett, the creator of jarts, to test his own product. He accepts the plea with a shit-eating grin and goes off to test his own creation. He quickly discovers that needles aerodynamically created to puncture will do as intended, even if there's a 6-year-old under it. Unpleased with the results, he throws out the old test and takes a new approach. An approach that begins with a list of good jarting regulations that each testing facility must follow in order to be considered valid. These regulations included having an anatomically accurate ballistics dummy, Kevlar vests, helmets, and a cardboard cutout of Mr. Barnett. Abiding by these terms made it harder for others to test the product and managed to stray away from the natural environment that the product would be in. Regardless, the CPSC saw the tampered results and considered it conclusive. They considered it a closed discussion since then. It's clear to see why allowing a company to test and create rules for their product testing is fucked. Also, if the EPA wanted a third-party lab to recreate Tyrone Hayes' data, why wouldn't they ask the same of Syngenta results? It's also like the EPA acted in favor of a larger bank account. The loss of this chemical would change the crop industry nationally and clean some of our water supplies. This rabbit hole is really deep, but I hope that this video provided the casual listener with a better understanding of possible corruption within our system. Atrazine clearly needs more testing, but it seems the EPA isn't listening to anyone except Syngenta. If you'd like a highly detailed telling of this story, visit Oki's Weird Stories on YouTube. He's a passionate journalist that is way more connected than I am. Anyway, if I made you laugh or learn something new, subscribe to the channel. But before we go, just so we're clear, no, Atrazine doesn't make frogs specifically gay. And Alex Jones?
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.